Welcome back to the Profit Builder Unscripted. Today we're talking about how do you pause and acknowledge and celebrate what are the wins in your life for this past year. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some tips for being able to do that both for your business and for your life in general. Okay, let's jump in. One of the things I notice about myself, and maybe you can relate to this, and I see this a lot of times with the people that I work with as well, is that when we've accomplished something, when we, especially like at the end of the year, like we look at like, okay, what is it that I need to do next? What's the next hill I need to sit? Like, what's the next thing I want to do? Or what did I not do well that I need to do better at? As opposed to stopping and really acknowledging and appreciating the wins and what we've accomplished. And one of the things that I started many years ago with my clients is that at the beginning of every year, the first meeting that we have, part of that meeting is dedicated just to simply stopping and answering the question, what were your wins for the previous year? Like, what are the like, and it could be financial, it could be personal, it could be relational, it could be in terms of strategy, thinking, development, personal business development, whatever it is. But just stopping and really going through their life and their business and asking the question, what were your wins for the previous year? And I love doing this exercise because it's always so fun to like when someone they'll come up with some things and then I'll say, well, what else? And then they'll come up with some more things and I'm like, well, what else? What about this area of business? What about that area? And because I know them and I know their business, sometimes I can, prompt and give them suggestions. But it's a really lovely exercise. And what I find time and again, and I find this also for myself when I do it, is that first of all, sometimes we tend to overlook what we do get accomplished, even if it's not been a great year for you financially or whatever. There's probably things that you have done to take the next hill or just wins. And so what I find is that it's usually like sort of a nice little surprise when people really stop and think about it. It's like, oh, wow, I really did accomplish a lot this year. And it's an opportunity also to like stop and slow down and just acknowledge yourself. I love that part of it too, because it is a way of celebrating what have I accomplished? Where have I come to at this point? What have I, where have I grown personally? Where have I gone professionally? How is my business done? How are my relationships? How's my finances? Whatever, all those areas. I encourage you to look at all the areas of your life, personal, professional, relational, financial, maybe it's systems, maybe it's processes, maybe it's people that you've hired, right? Like, look at all the different parts of your business and ask yourself, what have been some wins this year? And they don't have to be significant, they don't have to be dramatic. It could just be even the smallest things. And I think what you're going to find when you do this is that it's just a really like, it just gives you an opportunity to really appreciate yourself and to appreciate where you've come to in this year. Even in the face of, there's probably goals that you set that you didn't accomplish, things that you did that you're not proud of, things that you would have wanted to happen that didn't happen. That's okay. Like, all of that is true also. But if we just skip over the wins, it's not really taking that opportunity to acknowledge the ground that we've taken and acknowledge the growth that we've had. And the other thing that I encourage people to do is to share it with their team. And to share with their team anything, of course, sometimes people don't want to share the personal stuff, but like business wise, or if it is personal stuff, share it with your spouse or your kids or, your family, your friends. that it's a really lovely way of having the people around you also see where there may be wins for them or growth for them, particularly your team. Like a lot of times it's, there was a job that went south, or there wasn't as much work as you wanted, or there were mistakes made or whatever, because that tends to be what we do is we focus on what we didn't do, what we're not good at, what we didn't do enough of, blah, blah, right? Like that. And it's so affirming when we can feel like what we're doing is making traction and that there are good things that happen. And so your opportunity as a leader is to be the one to take the lead in sharing what it is that were the wins for the previous year. I hear a lot of great things back from clients about how appreciative their team was and what a great opportunity it was for them to all kind of like, because what they also do is besides the lead, whoever the owner is, or if it's the leadership team sharing, all right, like here's what we saw were wins, but they actually go around with their team as well and say, what was a win for you this year, personally and professionally? It's so great. It's such a great way for people to feel that sense of acknowledgement, that sense of value, contribution, belonging, and mattering. And I'm going to say that again because it's so important for us to remember as leaders that no matter who's on our team, who's working for us, no matter what it is that they do, that fundamentally as human beings, we all want to have that sense of contribution, value, belonging, and mattering. And when we can put mindfulness to paying attention to that, bringing it to the forefront with the people who work for us, or even just making sure that it's in the background for us as we're looking at developing our team, growing our team, coaching, training them, building them up to their next level of greatness, is to keep in mind that fundamentally, in the midst of people make mistakes, people screw up, people don't do what they say they're going to do, so on and so forth, like to keep that in mind, that fundamentally we all want to do a good job and we all want to have some sense of contribution, value, belonging, and mattering. And there are some people who work for you who haven't had a lot of that in their life. And you are the person who can give them the opportunity to have that experience that lets them feel seen and heard and like they matter. So I highly encourage you to, here it is, it's January, to do it, to do this for yourself and do this with your team, do this with your family, do this with your spouse, whoever, maybe it's your friend group, right? Whatever. It is such a great way for us to have that also, that sense of contribution, value, belonging, and mattering, like that sense of celebration for what did I get done? What worked? So I'm just going to say to you, because I know that you've done some things this year that are awesome. And I know that you've accomplished some great things this year. So let me just be the first to say to you, congratulations. Nice job. Nice job on all the stuff that you did get done. Nice job on the ground that you took. Nice job on the places where you had courage to do something that was uncomfortable and you did it anyway. Nice job putting yourself out there, whatever it was, right? And maybe it's nice job. You did amazing in terms of your financials, or nice job in repairing that relationship or having that hard conversation. I know that you've done great things this year and things worth celebrating. So I'm going to encourage you to write them down. And this isn't just a internal in between your two ears exercise. Literally write them down. And then if there's somebody else that you want to share it with, go share it. All right. Until next time, thanks again for being here. Thank you for being part of this community, and I'll see you next time on the Profit Builder Unscripted.